One of the richest women in music spent her fortune not on a theme park, a brand, or jewelry, but on books. Hundreds of millions of books. And she did it in memory of her father, who could not read or write. Dolly Parton's father, Robert Lee Parton, could not read or write his whole life. Dolly saw him as the smartest man she ever knew. But she knew that not being able to read had limited his dreams. In 1995, Dolly started a program in her father's honor, the Imagination Library. The idea was simple but revolutionary: to send children all over the world one free book every month from birth until they started school. Her father saw the program in the last years of his life. It filled him with pride that the children called Dolly the Book Lady. For Dolly, this was the most beautiful gift she could give her father. Today, the Imagination Library has donated more than 300 million books around the world. The daughter of a man who could not read taught millions of children to love reading. How can a person turn the memory of someone they lost into such an enormous act of goodness? Dolly's answer would turn her into a saint. As the years passed, a nickname spread for Dolly Parton, Saint Dolly, and she earned it many times over. In 2020, as the world was shaken by the COVID-19 pandemic, Dolly quietly donated $1 million to Vanderbilt University in Nashville for virus research. That donation became part of the seed money that helped develop the Moderna vaccine. So behind one of the most life-saving vaccines in the world was, in part, a country singer. Dolly put it this way: "I felt so proud to have been part of that little seed money that hopefully will grow into something great and help to heal this world." Then, when the vaccine was ready, Dolly rolled up her sleeve on camera and got her shot, singing her famous song Jolene, changed to Vaccine. She encouraged millions of people to get vaccinated, and she did it with a smile. She was always there in natural disasters too. When wildfires broke out in Tennessee, she sent $1,000 a month to every family who had lost their home. Her philanthropy was not for show. It was a way of life. Why does a millionaire quietly spend her fortune on others? For Dolly, the answer was hidden in that coat of many colors from her childhood. Over the years, Dolly Parton won countless awards. She was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, the Gospel Hall of Fame, the Songwriters Hall of Fame. She won a full 10 Grammys, but an invitation that came in 2022 surprised even her. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame invited her to be inducted. Dolly's first reaction was a humility all her own. She tried to decline, saying, "I'm not a real rock star. I don't deserve this honor." But then she changed her mind. And in typical Dolly fashion, she accepted the invitation as a challenge. "If they're putting me in the Rock Hall," she said, "then let me make a real rock album." At 77 years old, she began recording her first rock album. The album was called, naturally, Rockstar. She sang duets with rock legends from Ringo Starr to Paul McCartney. Released in 2023, it would be her final studio album. And so Dolly became one of only 17 people inducted into both the country and the Rock and Roll Halls of Fame, among giants like Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, and Ray Charles. A mountain girl had reached the summit of every genre. At 77, what kind of courage does it take to try something you've never done? Where did Dolly find that courage? In the middle of all the fame, the sparkle, the crowds, Dolly had a secret, a quiet, calm love. Her husband, Carl Dean. She had met him on her very first day in Nashville, outside a laundromat. Carl never loved the fame. He gave no interviews, walked no red carpets, stayed away from the spotlight. He ran his own asphalt business and lived a simple life. But for 60 years, he was Dolly's greatest supporter. Dolly always told him her wildest ideas, her biggest dreams. Even the idea of making a rock album was actually born from Carl's encouragement. On March 3rd, 2025, after 60 years of marriage, Carl Dean passed away at the age of 82. Dolly's statement was short but deep. Carl and I spent many wonderful years together. Words can't do justice to the love we shared for over 60 years. Dolly said she drew strength from her faith. I am a person of faith, and I truly believe that I'm going to see him again someday. I see him every day in my memories and in my heart. What is it like to lose a love of 60 years? And how does the one left behind learn to live with that emptiness? After Carl's death, Dolly confessed in an interview, "When Carl was very sick and when he passed, I didn't take care of myself. I let a lot of things go that I should have been taking care of." On August 25, 2026, Dolly Parton passed away in Nashville at the age of 80. After a brief battle with cancer, she went peacefully. As she wished, in lieu of flowers, donations were asked for the Imagination Library. Dolly was gone, but her wish and her fight to have children read lived on. They buried her beside Carl, her husband of 60 years, in Nashville, as she wished, in her famous high heels and a comfortable cotton dress. But did Dolly Parton truly die? Her songs are still playing. The Imagination Library is still sending millions of children books every month. Dollywood still gives thousands of people work. Her goodness will keep living long after she is gone. A girl born barefoot in a one-room cabin, the fourth of 12 children. She became a singer, a star, a legend, and in the end, she became a saint. "If you want the rainbow, you gotta put up with the rain," she once said. For 60 years, she was the rainbow that came after the rain. Dolly Parton's body is gone, but her light will never fade, because a true legend is not merely remembered. She lives on. Thank you for watching and for keeping these stories alive. Subscribe, because we bring the unheard and the remembered here every day. We're glad you're here.